We'll just wait for everyone to join, and then we'll start in about a minute. Okay. So, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh to everyone. So yeah, with so some of the lives, as one of the lives that are going on through this time of isolation or lockdown or whatever it is. One of the lives will be every Tuesday will be myself. Every Tuesday at 7:30, and so this is something that's been going on anyway. So I'm from Leicester, and at the local Gurdaas Sahib, every Friday we go through, amongst other things, discussions, debates, and we go through the history of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the Bhagats, and other things as well. one of the sort of, you could say, segments. One of the things we go through. If anyone can't hear me, just let me know. I hope everyone can. One of the things we go through is the writings, which are called the Vaar of Bhai Gurdaas Ji. I'll explain who they are. And we started that about 4 years ago. And it happens to be that we've got to a point. We've carried that on, sending recordings to everyone that usually attended, while we haven't been able to meet up physically. And we'd reached the 10th Vaar. So Bhai Gurdaas Ji, I'll explain who Bhai Gurdaas Ji are. So Bhai Gurdaas Ji are the nephew of the third Guru. So the nephew of Ji of Guru Amar Das Ji, and Bibi Pani Ji becomes the wife of Guru Ram Das Ji. So they're sort of, their cousin is Bibi Pani Ji, married to Guru Ram Das Ji, the fourth Guru. And then because Bibi Pani Ji and Guru Ram Das Ji, their son Guru Arjan Dev Ji becomes the fifth Guru. They become the Mama Ji of Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Also, they're known for so when Guru Granth Sahib Ji was first compiled, as in all of the writings of the first Guru to the fifth Guru at that time, so at the time of the fifth Guru, when all of the five Gurus' writings were brought together and compiled, into one, as we say, Granth, but Guru Granth Sahib Ji, they were the scribes. So they were the one. Obviously, Guru Arjan Dev Ji would speak the Gurbani, and Bhai Gurdaas Ji would be the one writing. And as a lot of you will know, it's not just the Guru's writings that are in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. We have the writings of the Pats, so the 17 poets, other Gursikhs as well, Bhai Sundar Ji, Bhai Satta, Bhai Balunda, and we also have the 15 Bhagats, Bhagat Kabir Ji, Bhagat Berni Ji, Bhagat Farid Ji, etc., etc. And when all of these writings were being added into Guru Granth Sahib Ji, as per the wishes of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, with the Guru's writings and all these Bhagats writings, these Gursikhs writings, Bhai Gurdaas Ji then asked, because if you think about it, if you're a Bhagat and your writings are in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, then that is essentially like a stamp on you that you are a complete Bhagat. Otherwise, your writings wouldn't be in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And so they, not in like a egotistical way, they wanted their writings to be in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, because what greater thing is there, acknowledgement of your bhakti, than for your teachings of your journey and your spiritual wisdom and your spiritual level that you're on, to be in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, which is the form of the Guru itself. And when they asked Guru Arjan Dev Ji for their writings to be added, Guru Arjan Dev Ji said no, but they did say that their writings would hold a special place in Sikhi, and that special place was that they would be, like I wrote in the post, Gurbani the Kunji, or the Chabi, or how people understand Chabi or Kunji, the key to understanding Guru Granth Sahib Ji and Gurbani generally. And so there's altogether 40 Vara, and each Vaar you could understand it as like a chapter. And we're about to start number 10, and there are about 20 to 30 Pauriya verses, you could say, in each of those chapters. I hope everyone can hear me. I don't know if I'm loud enough. If you can't, just someone will have to just let me know if you can hear me. And so all of those Vara, and then all the little verses, the Pauriya in within all of those, the aim is to explain something in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. In Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the way the Gurbani carries, Guru Sahib are writing their teachings, they're not going to stop every single second and explain what they meant when they use this example of this, or when they refer to this bird, or when they refer to the sun or the moon, or the this type of a plant, this type of a tree. They're not going to explain, oh, by the way, this is what this is what that is. Not for every single explanation. Every time somebody is mentioned from history, they're not going to stop and explain, oh, by the way, this was who this was. There are no footnotes in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And so you could think of Bhai Gurdaas Ji's writings as like, in a sense, how footnotes explain the text, what you're reading. In terms of Gurbani, Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Bhai Gurdaas Ji's Vara explain things that come up in Guru Granth Sahib Ji that, especially now, because we've been born, a lot of us, in a country when we grow up, and we don't know which tree, what type of a tree Guru Sahib are referring to when they talk about a kikkar, or when they talk about a like a fig tree, for example, in Asaki Vaar. And for us, it's important because then we can understand the references that Guru Sahib are making in their Gurbani. And so we've had some of the Vara that stick out. I know so the first one Guru, they go through some brief histories of the Gurus, where Guru Nanak Dev Ji went, which different historical asthans, historical places they went to. A lot of the stories like Sakya we know now, like today, when they went to Haridwar, when they went to Makkah, when they went to Sri Lanka, or wherever they went, those stories, they go through all of those. In some of the Vara, I think it's 3, they go through animals and metaphors of like materials that are referenced in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So like they go through, they explain about how they talk about milk. So milk is an example used in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. You might think, what do you mean? Why is milk being used in this example? What context is milk being referred to? And so in that, they break down how milk, basically the quality it possesses. From milk, you can make. First you'd make dahi. You can then make paneer, or whichever order. You can make paneer. You can make dahi. You can make ghee. You can make makhani. Here you can make cheese and stuff, and they're all given given different names. So you refer to one as that's cheese, that's makhani, that's this, that's that, that's butter. But in essence, all of it is still milk, and they describe how Vaheguru is one like that milk. But all of the other forms, because they're a different physical form, we see each one as different. We give them different names, and then we differentiate between them. Yeah. So all of us here, we all have different forms, we all have different names, different appearances, different genders, different castes. What's it? Castes. Different social status. All of these different things, just like those different types of that milk, the different stages of milk. In essence, we are all that same one milk. And they use that example with, like, for example, gold. They say, gold is one thing. But if you take gold and you make it into, something that goes around your finger, you call that a ring. If you put it around, the same thing. There's no difference between a ring and an earring. All it is that one is on your ear. Then we give that thing a new name. That's an earring, a necklace, and a this and a that, and a shalla and a sharp. And but in essence, it's all gold. And in the same way, we all have different forms. We all have different appearance, physical forms. But in essence, we are all that one soul, and that one light of Vaheguru. And so Bhai Gurdaas go through all of these things that come up in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and the aim is to make understanding Guru Granth Sahib Ji easier for us, as well as the teaching we're getting right now. So that's Bhai Gurdaas Ji's Vara. we in Leicester we've been going for quite a while now. We're not there to sort of rush through it. It's been about 4 years. It's one of the segments we discuss every week. In like I was saying, in that I wouldn't say it's a class, in that sort of that setting. Sometimes we'll have question answers. We have sort of these things. So this was going on anyway, and then due to, as everyone knows, this is sort of a form of prachar, Instagram lives and stuff. And so yesterday you had Bhai Guljit Singh from Punjab, who as in from here, who have moved to Punjab. So they were on an Insta live from Punjab, doing a question and answers. And so if anyone has any answers, if you have any answers, you can. we need them. But if you have any questions, what you can do is you can direct message Mata Sahib Kuji Educational Trust. I think I've appointed is there, but you will know where it is because you're on it anyway. You can direct message your questions. Oh, it'll be anonymous as well, and then they'll get answered next Monday at 7:30. Every Tuesday at 7:30 it'll be myself, and we'll be going through each of those verses, each of those pauriyan of this 10th Vaar of Bhai Gurdaas Ji's Vaar. And so we'll start. So in this whole Vaar, in this whole chapter, Bhai Gurdaas Ji will go through. So the whole sort of theme of this chapter is Vaar number 10. And if anyone needs a PDF and stuff, and I can provide that as well. You can direct message the trust, this page, or you can direct message me on my Instagram. I can provide that. So the whole theme of this Vaar is Bhai Gurdaas Ji. They list many different. There's a difficult way of describing this Vaar. Historical figures, or not just necessarily Bhagats, but famous characters, as in real figures from history, from ancient history of India, in different regards. So some of them are Bhagats, some of them are kings, some are famous women, like for example Draupadi will be one, who was the wife of the 5 Pandavas. And you might be thinking, what is significant about that? Bhai Gurdaas Ji will explain that, whether as well, negative or positive, whatever they want to explain about Draupadi or whoever, they will explain that in each body. But the key point is, these are all key figures from history that are mentioned in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and only by knowing who they are, what the context of their existence was, were they good, bad, what was their journey, did they succeed, did they fail, what are we to learn from this character? Only by learning that will we understand where, what Guru Sahib are trying to teach us when they refer to that person in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So we'll go through some references in Guru Granth Sahib Ji on Bhagat Dhru. So this week we'll start with Bhagat Dhru. And we'll go into some references in Guru Granth Sahib Ji where they're referred to. So one thing as well, this won't be in-depth translation. I won't be going into every single word that we'll try and I'll try and do most, but it won't be a partible. There won't be a sort of a dissection of all of the arth, each padarth, each sort of word. But we'll try and go through all of the words that are difficult to understand. If that can be done in a different setting. If people are looking for a sort of Santhya form explanation of Bhai Gurdaas Ji's Vaar, this is more just to get the point across in a sort of simple Gatha form. Yeah. So Bhai Gurdaas Ji start this Vaar. So Bhagat Dhru was a Bhagat from the era of Satyug, and he was a prince, or you should say he was destined to be a prince. He was a son of a king called Raja Utanpad, and his mother was Suniti. So that's quite important to remember. So his mom's name was Suniti, and his father had, as most kings do, his father had got remarried, and so his first wife was called Suniti, who he had Bhagat Dhru. So Dhru was the first, was his child with Suniti. But then he got married again to Surichi, who he had another son with as well. But as is the case in India, the eldest son from whichever of your wives, if you're as a king, whichever of your Raniya, the eldest is always the one who becomes the heir to the throne. Okay, so you can see why the stepmom is then going to have a bit of a enmity, an issue with the firstborn, who was Bhagat Dhru, the son of Suniti. So we'll get into the Vaar. That's a bit of a background, and we'll get into the Vaar. Vaheguru Ji Dhru hasda kar aya, kar pyar pyo ko chhud lita. So Dhru, Bhagat Dhru, and his mum, because his father got married again, and the new Rani, the new queen, or you could say sort of princess, the new queen had a bit of an issue with. So Surichi had an issue with the first wife, Suniti, and the fact that Dhru is the eldest son, and then so he's going to become the next king, not my son. She had them, I won't say banished, but had them sent to like the corner of the Raja's sort of complex, out of the palace. They had a little space in the corner where they went and they would live. So Dhru Bhagat, as he's playing around outside the palace, Hasada Kar Aya, he comes into his home, which is the palace. So Dhru Hasada Kar Aya, Kar Pyar, Pyo ko chhud lita. So his Pyo, his father, Kar Pyar, in a loving way, in a pyar filled way. Ko chhud lita. Ko chhud means like your godi, or your lap. Lita, he took Bhagat Dhru into his lap, as any father would do with their son. And so he sat down in his father's lap, playing around. So Bhagat Dhru is the age of 5 at this point. So he's 5 years old. Bahon pakad utha liya, man vich ros matrei kita. So the matrei, which is the stepmother, which is Surichi, the second wife, she man vich ros matrei kita. In her mind, she got very angry because it wasn't her son. It should be my son that he's playing with. This son should essentially be banished and should disappear so that my son can become the king, the next king. And what did she do? Bahon pakad utha liya. From his arm, from Bhagat Dhru's arm, pakad ke, by grabbing his arm, utha liya. She got him to stand up and basically kicked him out of the palace and told him to go run and go and play with his own mother, saying that I think so. In some of the references I've read, that she said that if you wanted to sit here, as in on the throne, you should have been born from me, not from your mother, essentially. So it's your bad karma, your negative sort of destiny that you weren't born from me to become the next king. So in this sort of hateful way, she kicked Bhagat Dhru, who's 5 years old. He's just playing with he doesn't know about being a prince or a king or next on the throne. He's just playing in his father's lap. She sort of sent him on his way, and then they carry on. So he's gone back to his mother now, Suniti, and so he's crying, and his mother's trying to console him, trying to quieten him down from crying. Ma pucha, he asks his mother now, "Tu savani hai ke surita?" So are you, to his mother he asks, "Mother, are you savani? Are you a princess? Hai ke surita? Or are you a nokkar, or your nokkarani? Are you a servant here?" Because he's looking and he's thinking, I'm the son of the king, surely my mother should be the queen, but the way we're living, my mother's living as if she's a servant. And so he asks his mother, as a 5-year-old doesn't know any better, he asks his mum, "Are you a princess or are you a servant?" And then his mother replies, "Savani ha janamadi." I am from my birth, I have been a princess. So I was born into a royal family, so obviously due to which I've been married to Raja Udan, but obviously he wouldn't have married somebody who wasn't from a royal lineage or royal heritage themselves. So she says I was born into royalty, and that's why I've married Raja Udan. But Savani had Janamdi, so from birth I've been born into royalty. I've been a princess. Namna Pagati Karam Dirdita. But and look what she does. She blames her current situation on the fact that Namna. So I have not worshipped Vaheguru, I have not done enough Simran to earn or to have that destiny to be sitting on the throne, or you could say sitting on the throne with your father, Raja Utanpad. Nam na pagati, neither do I have have I done any spiritual devotion. Karam dridita, this action, this karam, I haven't. Dridita means to have I practiced this karam, this action of worshipping Vaheguru and doing enough Simran. for myself to have enough good karm, have a positive enough destiny to get that reward that is becoming a queen here. So I must have done something, many things, negative things in my previous lives, not done enough simran, that I do not deserve this blessing. So she, look at that, she blames herself. She obviously, the whole thing was that the father had remarried and had just, the concentration had gone on to his new wife. The new wife had a enmity, sort of rivalry with the existing wife, and kicked her out. But look at what she does. She doesn't blame Surichi, the new wife. She blames herself for her situation. Then Bhagat Dhru Jee asked their mother, Paramesar Aradhya, Kis Uddam te Raj mila. Uddam means which effort. So through which efforts, Raj mila, can I get back this kingdom that belongs to me, that will belong to me because I'm the eldest son. Satru te sab hovan mita, from which what should I do so that all of these enemies of mine, Satru, can become mita, can become my friends. So all of this vair, this hatred, this kalesh can be removed. And then the mother replies again, Paramesar Aradhya, we should worship Vaheguru, Param Ishwar, the highest Jyot, the highest being, Vaheguru. Aradhya, we should worship. Jiddu Hoya, via whom we become Patit Punita. So if we're Patit means Patit literally means somebody who so it means like if a leaf becomes separated from the tree, that you call that Patit. Like we could say Chariya in a way, but if a leaf becomes separated from a tree, or if an apple tree and an apple falls from that tree, you call that patit. It's broken away from its tree, and as we all know, you can't reattach that fruit or that apple or that leaf or that branch back to that tree. So those that have become separated from Vaheguru, they can become punita, they can become pure by doing the simran of Vaheguru. So she advises her son that if you want your kingdom back, or you want the kingdom that was promised to you, that is owed to you, if you want all of this enmity, all of this hate, this sort of vair, this fighting to end, then we should worship Vaheguru. So look at the teachings that. So one key thing to note here is, one, he's 5 years old, so that's one thing to note. Second, look at the teachings that his mother is giving to him. So all of us, whether you're a mother or whether you're a father, we should take this upon ourselves as look at how great a parent and especially how great a mother Bhagat Dhru Jee's a mother is, especially when you hear the rest of the Saki and what levels he reaches. And so this is Mata Sahib Kaur Ji Educational Trust, and so Mata Sahib Kaur Ji, we can if you just look at the previous posts and stuff, you can see how great Mataji was as a mother, and not just a mother of like we see in the world of a couple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children, a mother of the whole of the Khalsa. And so in line with that, we can look at Bhagat Dhru Jee's mother in that same sense, as a great mother who's inspiring those who walk on the path of Bhagati, of Simran, of devotion or worship of Vaheguru. So they carry on. So then obviously Bhagat Dhru hears this teaching from his mother, and what does he do? Bahar chalya karan tap. Bahar chalya, he leaves his little hut they're living in, and to do what? Karan tap, to do what? Tap. Tap is a word for a physical like sort of physically disciplining yourself. So like you see you see certain bhagats, they'll sit near fire and they'll push themselves physically like that, or they'll sit in water, or they'll stand in water, or they'll these bhagats you see in India, in all these different sort of cultures who push themselves physically. So he goes to push himself physically in the sense by doing bhagati. So he wants to go off into the jungle and go and just sit, concentrate, regardless of what's going on around his body, regardless of the cold at night, regardless of the animals, regardless of whatever his comforts, to go and worship Vaheguru. Man Bairagi, in his mind he becomes Bairagi. Bairagi is a word sort of feeling detached. So he feels that detached. Separation is a sort of sense of separation from Vaheguru. Bair means not having. Rag means attachment. So he's bare rag, he becomes sort of free from attachment, and he just wants to go off into the jungle and just do Simran of Vaheguru, so that he can then get back his kingdom from Vaheguru, the giver of everything. Also, bare rag means to gift your rag. So rag, and then in that sense, not meaning attachment, but meaning love. To gift your love or your attachment to someone. So here he's gifting his love and his attachment, taking it from the world and attaching it to. So he did Bhakti of Vishnu. So, but if we just take it as he did Bhakti of what he saw Vaheguru, he saw God as. So he saw Vaheguru as the form of Vishnu, as they did back then. He goes to worship Vaheguru, Hoy Atita, and with a wish to become a recluse and leave everything behind and go and do Bhakti. So on his way he meets a great sage, a great saint called Narad. So Narad, he pops up in loads of different parts of history, and what he does is he tests his resolve. So Narad the Mun, so he's a Muni, he's like another word for a saint. Upadesya, he gives him Upadesh, he gives him a teaching that, this Bhakti game, it's not for for everyone. It's not a game that is to be taken lightly. He's trying to not deter him, not to stop him, but he's trying to test him. Like, this Bhakti thing, it's not a joke. You can't just expect after a day or two you're gonna get what you want. You have to approach it with like the utmost determination. In the end, Bhagat Dhru Jee says, I'm willing to do whatever. I'm willing to whatever it is. I will only stop. I will only stop, and I will only stop when I've reached Vaheguru, when I've connected to Vaheguru. Now Nidhan Amyo Ras Pita. At that point, Narad the sage realizes that this young boy, remember he's only 5 years old. Yeah, so if you think of a 5-year-old that that's that at that age to do all of this, he realizes that this is somebody who is now Nidan. Nidan means a sort of treasure chest of the name of Vaheguru, of the Simran of Vaheguru. He's a treasure chest just waiting to explode. And in the end, when he reaches his when he completes this Bhakti after months and months and months of worshipping Vaheguru, he becomes one with Vaheguru. Ameo Raspita. But Anaraji say they realize that this Bhagat has tasted the true bliss of being connected to Vaheguru. Amyo means like another word for Amrit. Ras means that taste. Pita means to drink. And in the end, what happens is his Bhagati comes to a point where his Bhagati becomes complete, and he meets Vaheguru. But at that point, his desires have all died. His desires for originally he started Bhagati to attain his kingdom, to get his kingdom back, but he's not even bothered about his kingdom at this point. He's so lost in his concentration in Vaheguru, and he asks for just the praise of Vaheguru. He doesn't ask for the thing he asked for originally. And then God sees him and realizes this is just a 5-year-old boy, and he doesn't know what he wants or what he should get or shouldn't get. And so in the end, he gets blessed with his kingdom again as well. And so from that teaching, we can see that becoming free from desires is a good thing. But, and it doesn't mean that you're when Vaheguru sees that we're free from our desires, they fulfill many of our desires as well, because we've it's like a tick, isn't it? When we reach that level, then Vaheguru is so happy with us. They give us the things that we were yearning for before, that we sort of became detached from. And then they carry on. So after Vaheguru has blessed them with this their kingdom, they change. They sort of it affects the mind of Raja Utanpad. So Vaheguru works their magic on Raja Utanpad, the king, his father, and he asks him to come back and take the throne, to sit on the throne and become the king, and he is to sort of could say like retire or step back. And they carry on. So they say Pichu Raja Sadhya. So Sadhya, the Raja, the king, Utanpad, his father, Sadhya calls him back to the palace. Abichal Raj Karaho Nitnita. They order their son to sit on the throne and to have an Abichal Raj, so to have a reign, to have a rule over this kingdom. Abichal, that doesn't end. Abchal. So chal means to go, to move. Abchal means to something that doesn't move. So like an everlasting kingdom. And Karo Nitinita, and forever, essentially for ages to come. So I think he reigns for, his rule goes on for thousands of years, to gain that kingdom back. And in the end they say, and so with that as well, Bhagat Dhru is known to have been blessed with like a realm that is like signified by the North Star, so the Pole Star, or as they say in Guru the Dhru Tara, is known as that the realm of Bhagat Dhru, where he was blessed with this like place, this realm, this other outer bodily that sort of realm where he can continue his bhakti, continue his devotional worship without the fear of this world coming to an end, or like when the end of this world comes, he will be unaffected. So he was given this everlasting, I don't want to say heaven, but this realm, this place, to do his bhakti. And so the Dhru Tara is, the pole star is like referenced as his realm. And there's in the history of Guru Nanak Dev, you see Guru Nanak Dev Ji visiting Bhagat Dhru Jee as well. So he becomes like eternal. He becomes an eternal light because he's merged into that eternal light that is Vaheguru themselves. And in the end, they say Har Challe Gurmukh Jag Jita. So those that are Gurmukhs, those that are the true Gursikhs, the true devotees of Vaheguru, Har Challe, they themselves, if we do a literal translation, means that they lose. Har Challe, they go, they leave here having lost. What they lose is their ego. So it looks like on the outside, it looks like, so if you think about when Bhagat Dhru is banished from the palace, and then at that point, if you asked anyone, they'll say, oh, he's lost, because Surichi, who's the new wife of the king, she's won because she's banished the old son from the kingdom. So in that sense, they lose when they retire to the jungles to do their bhakti. Anyone in that kingdom, if you ask them, they would say, yeah, they've lost. They've just gone to become a Bhagat. So in that sense, in the worldly sense, in what we sort of ignorantly see, they lose. But really, Gurmukh, Jag Jita, those Gurmukhs, the true devotees of Vaheguru, Jag Jita, they win over. They win this game that is this world that we come into, we're born into, this game that we play. They win, and they win the highest sort of the greatest prize, which is becoming one with Vaheguru. And they finish. So Bhai actually finishes that Vaar there, that Pauri, you could say. So that's the first Pauri. So first verse. I think there's about 21 in this chapter, this Vaar, where they go through some more characters or figures, historical figures from Guru Granth Sahib. I think next is Bhagat Prahalad Ji, again another Bhagat at a young age, who became connected to Vaheguru. And so if I show you, so now we've listened to that, I'm just going to, in about 30 seconds, go through some lines of Guru Granth Sahib Ji where they refer to Bhagat Dhru. So here in Gauri Rag, they say Ram Japo Ji Aise Aise. So they tell us, they're ordering us, like Guru Sahib, we should worship, we should meditate on the name of Vaheguru, Aise Aise, in this way. In which way? Dhru Prahalad Japyo Har Jaise, in the ways that Bhagat Dhru and then Bhagat Prahalad Ji, who we'll talk about next week, in the ways that they focused on Vaheguru. Remember, they left and that was it. Their journey was set in stone, that they would only stop until they became one with Vaheguru. Not like us, where we sort of do it for a little while, and then after a while we sort of think, yeah, nothing's really happened. Oh, let's leave it. People say to us like, "Inna jar ho gaya kuch miliya." They say sort of, it's been this many years we've seen you. Oh, you've been wearing you wear the star Amrit Shakya or this or that or whatever it is, and they say what you're just the same essentially, but they don't realize that this is like a sort of a lifetime, not even a lifetime, more than one lifetime's contract to only stop until we reach Vaheguru. So they say so that's one pankti. Then they Guru Arjan Dev Ji in the Rag Maru say Panch Barakh ko Anath Dhru Barak. So Dhru was a child. Panch Barakh, who was 5 years old, and he was Anath. He didn't have a guru. He had a guru in the sense of his mother, but in a in a sort of official sense, he didn't go to like a famous spiritual school. He didn't have a famous Bhagat who was teaching him. He had his mother who gave him those teachings. His mother was his guru, and Har Simrat, worshipping Vaheguru, doing the Simran of Vaheguru, remembering Vaheguru, Amar Atare, he became immortal, essentially immortalized. And if I go through some more, they talk about Bal Mika Hua Sad Sang. So they talk about Bhagat ko Balmik, Dhru ko Milaya Har Nisang, and Vaheguru met Bhagat Dhru Ji nisang, without any shanka, without any difference. So they became completely one with Vaheguru. There's no doubt as to the difference between them and Vaheguru. Shri Guru Sahib Sab Upar Kari Kripa. So here, the Pats, I think it is, they ask Guru Sahib to bless them with the same mercy, the same kirpa, Satjug Jenatru Upar, the same mercy that Vaheguru, same blessings that Vaheguru showered upon Bhagat Dhru in Satjug. There are a few more as well. I think I shared earlier as well. Atal Payo Tu Jaka Simran. So he became immortal. He became immortalized in his realm as well. Ar Nirpa Pad Paya. He attained that level of fearlessness in his Bhagati of Vaheguru, and merging with that fearless one that is Vaheguru themselves. So only if you look at these Bhakti, and if you think backwards now, only by knowing who Bhagat Dhru is can we understand these Bhakti, these this Gurbani, and so that's why it's important, and that's why by Gurdaas you go through these Vaar to explain those things that are not explained in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and we have to make the efforts to understand. So I'll leave it there. This one went on for a little bit longer than expected. Next week will be a lot shorter, but like I said yesterday, there was a question answer with Bhai Kuljit Singh Ji. If you have any questions, you can send them through direct message them to the trust Instagram page, and they'll get picked up next week or the week after. And yeah, I'll be back next Tuesday at 7:30, and we'll talk about Bhagat Prahalad Ji, who are referred to in Guru Granth Sahib Ji more than one occasion as well. Thank you all for listening. I think this will stay up for a little while as well. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.